10 to 20 acres for sale in Blount County and just 20 minutes to Springville and Aniana. We're driving along Jones Chapel Loop Road, which is off Jones Chapel Road. And Jones Chapel Road is between County Road 24, and County Road 24 runs along the ridge between Springville towards Asheville and 231, and then County Road 27 runs from Springville to County Road or Highway 29. And so it's in between those two roads is Jones Chapel Road, and then you have Jones Chapel Loop Road. And Jones Chapel Loop Road is a paved road. It has public water. It's a 2-inch water line. It does have power. There's no natural gas, and there's not many homes out here on this stretch that we're driving on. In that little bend, almost kind of like the shape of a staple, the long end of the staple there for that stretch, which is what we're driving on, there's only really just a handful of homes out there, probably a total of 4 or 5 houses. And we're on this corner of this stretch of the property here on the far left, and you see one of those houses there. And this property is going to have somewhere around over 600 feet of road frontage if you buy the 20 acres. Now, this property can be bought as a 10 acre as well as the 20 acres. And the 10 acres is $99,900, and the 20 acres is $179,900. And so if you bought 10 acres, you obviously would have 300 feet, as opposed to buying the 20 and having 600 feet. Now, this property is an old farm that had cattle once before, years ago, and so there's a little bit of fencing along the front of this property as well as the back. So any new fencing between the property lines would have to be added, and I'm sure you'd want to update some of the fencing across the front to ensure a full enclosure of the property. Now, this being an old farm, it is terraced. There are some terrace on this property, and which is a gentle slope. There's no mountains or drop-offs or cliffs that you have to be concerned about with children on the property or animals. So most of what you've got is very navigable across the property once you get it cleaned up, if you're going to reclaim it into a farm or to reclaim some open areas on the property. Now, we're kind of getting more to the right of the property right now, and there you'll see a corner that we're walking up to the property now. Now, this tree line is approximately the property line, and where that stake is, there is a corner. Now, the neighboring property, he too had purchased 20 acres. So his property is to the right of this, and the cleared spot is a power line that he brought in to have power to his home that he is going to be building there in the future. And so his property would be to the right, and ours is to the left of the cleared spot. Now, we're going to walk up to a home site in just a moment, but to give you some depth perception of the size of the trees that are on the property, you can see that it's got some mature timber on the property. And it's not that way entirely throughout the property, but it is sporadic enough that you do have some good timber on the property. And then you have some privet areas as well, as you're seeing, where you've got some thickness to the property. This is some water that does come out of the ground across the property. Some of it does come out of the pond that's just south of this property. So you do have water that does come across. There are ponds in the area, so typically that is a good indication of the soil that you might be able to do that. We do know that the properties in this area will PERT. The neighbor next door has had a PERT test, obviously, or he wouldn't be building his house. So you do have that ability to do that. Now, we have not done that for this property here because, we're just, we don't know where you'd build your house. So depending on where you would build your house, that's where you're going to want to do the PERT test. But we're going to keep walking up this power line area that's being cleared to kind of give you some kind of idea. And to right here is where we're going to go into what I would consider a potential home site for this property. And I do have it flagged. That way we can always go back to it. But some interesting things about the area. You're only 20 minutes from downtown Springville. You're only about 20 minutes from downtown Aniana. And both Aniana and Springville, they both do have Walmarts. Now, Aniana does have Marvin's for building supply. Also, they do have a Tractor Supply as well, and another lumber company. They do have some good restaurants there, one of those being Charlie B's. Springville has some Mexican restaurants. They do have another restaurant near the interstate that's a family sit-down table where you can get a salad and some other things there as well. So there is convenience to both places that you can get to from this property, as well as you can be on the interstate there in Springville in just about 20 minutes or so, give or take. But this is a potential home site that I would say would be great to put a place that's cleared and opened up enough. It wouldn't take much to continue to open it up. If you wanted to take out these pines, there's a nice little slope area right in there that could sit perched up as the property slopes with a terraced area that it's got over in this part of the property. But this would make a terrific home site. Some of the restrictions, one home per 10 acres. So one home per 10 acres. You can build a barndominium or build a home. No manufactured or modular home. But one home per 10 acres. So if you bought all 20, you could have potential 2 home sites. If you had a family member or someone that wanted to go in and invest in this property together, you could easily do that if you chose to. But, this is a great opportunity to own something that lays really well. There is wildlife in the area. We do know and have seen signs of deer. There is turkey in the area as well. But it's just a good little spot. Again, there's not many homes along Jones Chapel Loop Road, and we're leaving the property now. I wanted to take you back to where Jones Chapel Road is, but you can see we're kind of leaving this property. That is the gentleman that bought that other 20 acres that we sold. There's a church down here on the right. So there's probably, again, just a handful of homes just on this stretch. As we make the bend, there's probably at least 2 to 3 more as well. There's a church there. Then there's a couple homes. There's a home to the left, which joins the property that we sold, so it wouldn't be bordering you. And there's another one or to the right. But give me a call. We'd be happy to show you this property. And again, as always, we appreciate you watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Because if this is not for you, it may be for somebody that you know or somebody that's watching. But it's just a beautiful area with farms in the area, tomato farms, and I think you'd probably like it.